inspired by the 1986 video game of the same name. The movie stars Dwayne Johnson as the protagonist, Davis Okoye, a primatologist who has a special bond with a genetically modified gorilla named George. Here's a detailed summary of the story. The story begins in a remote laboratory in space, where a geneticist named Dr. Kerry Atkins, played by Naomi Harris, is conducting experiments on a variety of animals using a destructive chemical called CRISPR. An accident occurs, causing several pods containing genetically altered animals to crash to Earth. One of these pods lands in a wildlife preserve in the United States, where it releases a gas that affects a variety of creatures, including George, a rare albino gorilla raised by Davis Okoye, who works at a nearby zoo. Davis Okoye, a former Special Forces operative, cares deeply for George, who has an exceptional intelligence and ability to communicate with him using sign language. When George is exposed to the gas, he undergoes a rapid transformation, growing to an enormous size and becoming increasingly aggressive. In his new state, George retains some of his intelligence but struggles with the rage and confusion brought on by the mutation. As George begins his transformation, two other animals, a wolf named Ralph and a crocodile named Lizzie, are also affected by the CRISPR technology and undergo similar transformations. With each passing day, George becomes more massive and uncontrollable, causing destruction and fear across the city. The government, having detected the strange readings associated with the transformed animals, gets involved, sending in mercenaries and military forces to deal with the situation. This brings conflict into the story as Davis tries to save George from being hunted down. He enlists the help of Dr. Atkins, who aids him in discovering the root cause of the animal's mutations. The laboratory CEO, Claire Wyden, played by Marlon Ockerman, along with her brother, is revealed to be behind the CRISPR experiments. She is more concerned with covering up their corporate malfeasance and recovering the mutated animals, instead of addressing the fallout. They orchestrate an elaborate plan to capture the beasts to exploit them for profit. Eventually, the creatures converge on Chicago, leading to a climactic showdown. Davis, with the help of Dr. Atkins, works to thwart Wyden's plans while simultaneously trying to save his friend George. The trio of monsters, George, Ralph, and Lizzie, engage in battle with various military forces and each other, creating widespread chaos. Throughout the chaos, Davis communicates with George, reminding him of their bond and helping him retain control over his actions. Despite the monstrous transformation, this emotional connection highlights the themes of friendship, loyalty, and the bond between humans and animals. In a final epic confrontation, Davis and George work together,